All right, who wants to sound better than they actually are? Raise their hand. Now, all jokes aside, the point of this title is I just want to solidify how crucial I think some of these things are. Some people might view these as like, oh, it's good to refresh on the basics or something like that. And I'm like, no, man, these aren't the basics. These are the everything. This is what it's all about. So let's talk about this for a second, because this is the stuff that all of our favorite guitar players do without thinking about it, and it's just because after you practice it so long, you just don't need to think about it, you just do it. Now, the first one is adding space. Now, adding space can be taken in a lot of different ways. You could add space, as in like the notes that are next to each other. Like those notes are stacked right on top of each other, but I could add different intervals. This is where you're hearing people talk about sixth and all that kind of stuff, but you know, all theory out of it, I just want my notes further apart. Oh, when I hear those things, I'm like, oh, that's really cool, because I don't always like the notes to be right on top of each other. Now, this is, of course, going to be some personal preference involved in this, but adding space to either not constantly playing a riff where you're like, sometimes it calls for that, and sometimes you want, I added lots of space there. So don't be afraid to not play sometimes. Add space that way, the space of sound, or intervallically, how much space is between your actual notes. Dynamics, touch, pick, fingers, where you pick, all of these things. I don't know if there's a more important thing here on the way you're going to actually be delivering and executing a lot of the stuff that we talk about here today. So just listen to a phrase and how many different ways I could play this. So I could easily go, you know, okay? Now, part of that dynamic and phrasing control is deciding which pickup or sound of the guitar best suits what you played. Okay, that's a lot, and I've got delay and reverb and all that stuff because you have to learn how to control distortion, reverb, delay, make sure it doesn't overpower the message that you're trying to send on the guitar. So far I like the neck pickup more. Much warmer, richer. It's kind of more the vibe that I'm going for in this moment. Maybe I want to harmonize it. You know, whatever I want to do with it like that. But let's say, for me, the most vocal way to get a line out, a lot of times, is using your fingers. I don't know, I love the snap and pop of that, you know? Also, using your fingers with your bridge pickup now changes it. It's so different than that aggressive pick sound. So do you really want to like portray the message that you know what's going on with the guitar, like you're playing to the song, your dynamic control of your hand? And part of what I'm doing is I'm flipping between pick and fingers. Is that in focus? Let me cover my face up so you can see. So whenever I do that, I'm holding my pick like I normally would, and I go like this, boom. Right, like that. Pick, fingers. And I just go back and forth. And you get to where you do it where you're not even thinking about it, because you're thinking more tonally about what's happening. So if I'm playing, and I'm all of a sudden I'm like, maybe that stuff sounds better with fingers, you know? Make sure that you're aware of the way you're delivering the note. Now, chords. This is something I neglected as a player. I don't want to play chords. I want to play solos. That was my attitude for a very long time playing guitar. And what I realized was, without knowing chords, and I don't mean knowing them as in like I need to know what every single, you know, inverted, augmented, diminished, you know, chord is. Nothing like that. Without knowing how to play just some basic chords, I couldn't really jam with people. I couldn't write my own songs. I didn't know what to do. There was so much just like, what do I play next? So once I started learning some basic chord progressions, just your major and minor scale, you know. Oh, sorry. Back to A. Or, you know, minor. You know, all that kind of stuff. It opened up so many worlds to me on guitar. Because what happens is it just sounds like you know where you're going at all times. Say we did A major, you know, knowing that these chords are gonna work together, it's so powerful. You know, oh look, it sounded like, it sounded like I knew where I was going, didn't it? And it's because I did. I had the general map, but you can choose the destination on the fly if you want to. So if you want to add that confidence of where you're going, especially when you're improvising or something of that caliber, learning chords is so crucial and so important. So there you guys go. Simple tips. I want you guys to take this stuff, go off, do your own thing with it. I could show you all the chords in the world, but if you're not making your own music, discovering your own voice on the guitar, what's it all for? You guys got this. You got your own thing going on. So hope you all have a good rest of your day. I will see you all later. Bye, homies. Woo!